Isaiah loved the house of the Lord, and he teaches us to purify ourselves that we might receive all the blessings God has for us there. But he also prophesies that in the last days, some will enter the Lord's house unworthily and worship in vain and bring judgments upon themselves. And at least one of these judgments will lead the people to lose their beloved temple. At the beginning of his book, Isaiah says that in the last days, many people will offer vain oblations in the temple. Because of his own words, we know he's speaking of the last days, and here, at the beginning, he says, "When ye come to appear before me, who hath required this at your hand? To tread my courts, bring no more vain oblations." The phrase, "when we come to appear before him," means when we come to the temple to symbolically meet him. And the courts that he says we trample are the courts of the temple. Anciently, the temple was where sheep served as proxies, just as in our day, we are the sheep that perform ordinances for those on the other side. But again, Isaiah says that too often we'll be guilty of treading God's courts, of offering vain or hollow sacrifices in the temple. He even says that some will offer prayers in the temple unworthily. "And when ye spread forth your hands, I will hide mine eyes from you. Yea, when ye make many prayers, I will not hear. Your hands are full of blood." Hands being full of blood has multiple meanings. Anciently, it meant, in part, being guilty of the blood of the prophets whom they slew. In the last days, it will have the same meaning when at least one unpopular prophet is marred because of them. But hands being full of blood also has the connotation of oppressing the poor. For example, when business people grind the faces of the poor and then pay tithing on the profits, this will bring blood upon their hands, for the poor may actually have their lives shortened as a result of such oppression. Because of such wickedness and greater wickedness throughout the world, temples will be lost in a day of wrath and a day of burning. We're told that enemies will arise and exercise dominion over many covenant people, as John the Beloved said of the last days, "And it was given unto him, the beast, to make war with the saints and to overcome them." At that time, as Isaiah makes clear, at least one of the holy sanctuaries of the covenant people will be lost. "The people of thy holiness have possessed it but a little while. Our adversaries have trodden down thy sanctuary." He clarifies this in the next chapter. "Our holy and our beautiful house, where our fathers praised thee, is burned up with fire, and all our pleasant things are laid waste." This is the holy sanctuary of the covenant people. Our enemies will have, at last, trodden it down and burned it. But retribution for these wrongs is coming. As a result of this wickedness, both from within and from without, there will come a voice from the temple, a voice of the Lord that rendereth recompense to his enemies. In the last days there will come a voice of noise from the city, a voice from the temple. God's enemies, again both within and without, may exercise dominion for a short time and even burn the Lord's house with fire. But in the end, his voice will end the battle. In the end, his voice coming from the temple will conquer all. The humble and righteous of the covenant may suffer for a while, even in extremity, but those who wait upon the Lord will yet see Zion. As Isaiah says in his very last chapter, "Who hath heard such a thing? Who hath seen such things? Shall the earth be made to bring forth in one day? Or shall a nation be born at once? For as soon as Zion travailed, she brought forth her children." The pure and holy children of the covenant will travail under opposition for a while, but in the end they'll bring forth Zion, the city where our God will dwell. And from that day forth, many more temples, even greater than the temples we now know, will be built in holiness to our God. And this will be done that thousands and millions of proxies may bless the lives of millions and billions of our brothers and sisters on the other side. May we learn to wait upon the Lord. May we become pure and holy, without spot, that we may be worthy to see the great and glorious temples of Zion when they serve to bring millions and billions into Christ's eternal covenant. I'm Curtis Taylor, with the words of Isaiah.